Hey, what's up, guys? It's Duff back again. We're doing another course overview today. Today is going to be more of a interactive course overview, though, as the course I'm going to be looking at today is the course that I'm going to send into TGC Tours for the rookie competition this year. So if you guys see anything that you think might be better on some holes or something that would be nice to be changed, just put any of your comments down below. So like say if you didn't like this bunker, just tell me that, hey, that bunker may not be in the best spot. Just shoot some stuff down in the comments because I've only got my perspective on this course. I don't have too many other people's. Uh, so FeatherWood, this was a course that I made a few weeks ago. Uh, Probably like 10, 12 weeks ago, I think. Finally finished it up, niced it up. And it is on the more difficult side of courses, but at the same time, good players are still going to be able to shoot fairly under on this course, probably around 9 under for the best players pretty consistently. Uh, there are not a lot of forgiving holes out here. Most of them are on the difficult side. So starting off with number one, great example here. This number one is quite the difficult starting hole as there are two separate fairways that you can play into. Front fairway is going to leave you quite a heftier shot into the green unless you play it up next to the water. And the right fairway, you're going to have about 150 in to 130 in on a nice drive. But that right fairway can be a little bit harder to reach as it is up here, kind of hidden behind the trees and protected by these four bunkers nicely lined up together. In terms of coming into the green, it is also an extremely difficult shot with these two raised bunkers and this huge slope right here in the front of the green. The green is very simple. It's just got one large slope splitting the green in two vertically or diagonally. Uh, Overall, very simple hole, but at the same time, I think it uh, adds a lot of difficulty to it with this split fairway right here. Coming on over here to number two. Number two is a medium size par 4, but can become very long with a bad drive. As on this hole here, if you're not hitting it straight down this little center, pretty far down to this little line, it can be very, very hard because you can get blocked out by these trees with bad shots, or you can get pushed all the way over here into the heavy or this big sand bunker. Uh, Overall, though, it is a larger fairway. As long as you can get a shot out here into this fairway, it opens up the whole rest of the hole. And you just have two little bunkers guarding this green. The pin positions are usually over here in this top back tier for 1 and 4. But overall, a simple hole just kind of nestled in the trees. Only 3 bunkers, but I do think 3 bunkers really add some nice looks to the hole, even though not a whole bunch of people are going to go into them. Let me get a quick little sip of water. All right, number 3 here. This is I think it's the shortest par 4 on the course, if I'm correct. Sitting right at 380 along this line. Straight to the green, though, it's about 330 or so to the front. Uh, I think this hole it's a very exciting hole to play. There's a lot of water around this hole. There is obviously a layup area over here, but it can still be scary as you're kind of hitting over water and trying to stop it before water. So a draw off the tee with a hybrid is usually the play here. Your driver will put you usually down to here. If you're a longer driver, you're going to have to take some off. Going for the green is a very risky play, but it can pay off. Most of the time, drives are going to end up in this bunker over here or this bunker right here. This one has got a huge amount of fairway that runs down into it, along with the green. This whole section of the green right here, where the 1 and 4 pin are, is throwing everyone off into the sand. Uh, Overall, I think it's a very interesting hole, and it's also the first hole that I added in my drop zones. As you can see right here, we got a drop zone, which if you watch my video on drop zones, you know what these do. But There are quite a few across the course. I also liked how the tee box for number 4 incorporates very nicely into 3 without really seeming like it's really there. You got your little tee box right here, got another one here, and a tiny one up here. So it's only 3 tee boxes, but I do think it does its job just fine with separating everybody out far enough. Uh, but I really like this little pond right here, how it plays around everything. I don't know, I just like this little zone right here. It's just very nice. Coming on to number 4. Number 4 is a special type of par 5. I wanted something a little bit different here. So it's kind of like a split fairway, but not. Your drive is not going to be a split fairway. The placement of your drive depends completely on what your second shot's going to be like. If you can put your drive, say, on the left side of this red line right here, you're going to have a pretty straight shot into the green around these trees that are placed in the middle of the hole, as you can see. If not, you're going to be a little bit further over here, which is usually where most people are in this little fat chunk here. I haven't seen too many people get into the sand. I think you have to smash one to get into there. But you have two options. You can either fade one around this, or you can play over to here. People who like to play to a number, this is usually the better choice, as you have a lot of zone up here to play to like 150 to 100. Over here, you're going to have a shorter, kind of harder chip to handle getting into the green. But I also did redo this green not too long ago. Uh, I do think this green design's a lot better than what it used to be with the split running down the center that kind of matches up with the bunker here. It used to just kind of be kind of some rolling hills and nothing super special here. So I'm glad I changed that one around. We also added in some of the little spline fencing here. Got to bring the spline fencing in anywhere I can. Heading on to number 5. Number 5 is also a pretty birdieable par 4 here. You have to take all the birdie chances you can get out here because they're not that plentiful. This little hole right here, it's very simple, but at the same time it can be hard because as you can see, you have hazards all over the place here. You can get in trouble very quick by red fasting a drive over to this area, or even smashing one too hard and getting into this water. And any shot over here to the right is going to be a very hard second shot coming into the screen. So placement here is key. If you're not in the fairway, it can be a very tough hole. And one of the reasons why is the green. The green is pretty difficult with a big mound here right next to the bunker and another big mound right here that is pinnable. This is where the 1 and 4 pin is, so this is where the two pins that everyone's going to play is. It's just a very, very difficult little spot to land your ball on this little tier up here, but it's not drastic enough to where it's a serious issue. It's a nice little playable mound. It is very receptive to nice shots. If you land right here in this little front area, you are going to stop pretty close to the pin. Heading over to number 6. Number 6 is a hole that I had redone the green again, and I had also reworked this bunker to make it run into the water as well. But this tee shot I think is very nice on this hole. Can't really see much because I got so many numbers out there. Let me go into F10. As you can see, it's a beautiful long running fairway from right to left. It gives you a lot of stuff to look at. And with how this fairway runs diagonally, it makes the players want to go more and more cutting this corner, but it gets more and more dangerous with the water and then the bunker even coming into play later on. I also added a bunch of little mounds over here on this left side, kind of wrapping up and around. And up here towards the green, this is where a lot of the reworking went. This green here used to take up this entire area, like the biggest green in the course, very, very big. And there was nothing really interesting with the slopes. They were just kind of slow, fat slopes. There was nothing really special about them. So I came in here, reworked the green, made it a lot smaller, added a small little catch area on this front next to the sand bunker for lucky people who don't quite roll in or people who are trying to get out and just don't quite make it to the green. Just adds a little bit more difficulty than what the hole used to be. and also added this huge little valley cutting straight through the center that is bound to catch a lot of people's second shots coming into the screen. And getting in here and putting back out up to this pin is going to be a big challenge for people. So placement on this hole is going to be key. Not putting yourself in this valley, but putting yourself up here on this front tier when you're coming into the green is going to be a big difference for players in this hole. I think this one's going to cause a lot of players to really mess up, because if you're above this, getting this ball to stop without running down into the fairway is very challenging. Overall, though, I really like the look of this hole. Kind of brings the city back into view as you're coming around. Real kind of brings you back around to the big lake that a lot of the holes are playing around. If I kind of zoom out on this course, I didn't really talk much about the scenery, but it's more or less just one huge lake and then the clubhouse lake up here. Uh, so really the front nine is got a lot of water on it, and the back nine doesn't have much water at all, honestly. I think the back nine only has one or two holes with water, if I'm correct. I think 16 might be the only hole with water. Uh, I added a little city in here, so nothing super special, and a little wind farm that we'll see as we come around to 15 and 14 up here on top of the hill. I'm going to turn back on the little numbers so you guys can see everything. I don't know. Let me know if you guys like it better with all the information on here, or if you like it better with the clear screen like this. I can use a combo of both as well. Coming on here to number 7. Number 7 is one of my favorite holes on this course. It's a pretty simple hole at face value, with only one bunker up here guarding the left side and a lot of water down here. It plays just over 200 yards from the back tees, but where this gets difficult is with the contouring of the green and the green surrounds. Getting your ball to land up here in this top area, you have to hit a fade for the most part coming into here to get the ball to stop. Hitting a draw, it's just going to run straight through, and you're going to be off the back and have a pretty difficult chip coming up. So it requires a nice fade landing into this slope to come up here and stop even close to these. But the problem is with that is anything past this little light rough, if anything lands over here, it's gonna get kicked off this hill and all the way down in the water, almost guaranteed. And this is the 1 and 4 pins up here as well, so that's where everybody's for the most part going to be playing to. So I do think it makes this hole very difficult, and at the same time, quite the stunning little hole kind of tucked away in the woods back here. This is also one of the holes where I added the drop zone into. It's kind of hard to see with the lighting over here, but there's a big strip of fairway that runs all the way down this, that if any balls go into this water, you can actually take a drop over here instead of re-teeing, which is nice. Coming on to hole number 8. Hole number 8 has got a very elevated tee. It's almost like a valley right down here. It took me a lot of work to actually get these tee boxes to where I like them. The red tee is almost comically tiny, but I do kind of like it like that. It is kind of cute having such a tiny little tee like that with just a little bit of rough around it. But this top little area is where everybody's going to be hitting from, and I do think it's really nice looking from the tee. Not really looking at it too much from the other way, but I think this is a nice look. I also got the little speed limit signs down here, and I added a bunch of the little yellow hazard things to kind of give it a little bit more bulk to it. In terms of this hole, you're going to be landing somewhere right around in here, so these bunkers are almost always in play unless you can absolutely crush a ball. Got one large tree that is the main part of this hole. You actually kind of want your drives to land back here and kind of be short of these bunkers, contesting with them, because further drives that are going past this are run into a big problem of actually being right behind this tree if you're up here. And coming into the green, that can be very tough. So you actually do want to hit kind of a shorter, medium-sized drive right into this open area, so you don't have to worry about the tree at all. And with the green sloping how it is, it does invite players to hit a draw. So any players that are over here, it is inviting to a draw around the tree. Fades, it's going to be not very often that players are going to be down here hitting fades around this unless they're playing up tees. So draw is usually going to always be the play on this hole. In terms of pin positions, uh, I don't. This isn't my favorite green on the course, but I do think it still plays pretty nice. It's got three tiers. Got the top tier, medium tier that runs all the way across, and then a bottom tier down here. This whole front edge kind of slopes off into this kind of rectangle-ish bunker up here, and got two little circle bunkers back here that plays in very nicely with a third one that we will see later on number 17 that you actually can't see. You can only see it from above, which is, I don't know, I kind of like how these are nestled so closely together, yet you can't see them when you're playing the other hole. All right, on to number 9 here. This is definitely one of the most difficult holes in the entire course. Uh, a fairly long par 3, over 200 yards, that plays to an island green that is tucked, and I mean tucked into the water. This thing is sitting right on the edge of the water. Any shots that aren't played perfectly in this hole will be devastating. The 1 and 4 pin are both over here in the hard spot, and you have to land on the very front of this green if you want to have a chance at birdie. Shots that land long and go up here to the back, the safer portion of the green, you're going to have an extremely hard time two-putting coming all the way downhill to this pin or this pin. There's multiple times where I wasn't expecting it, and I putted the ball all the way off the green down here under the fringe or the fairway because this slope kind of tricks you in terms of how fast it actually is. In terms of the other side of the green, we got the two little tucked bunkers over here. I like how the fairway runs all the way down up to the tees, like a little walk path running down through here. These two pins are also pretty fun to play. I've played all the pins on this course. It's been my favorite course to play out of all my courses. It's just been a very enjoyable, fun, and challenging course to play every time. In terms of the decorating on this course, I did mainly just beds. Beds were my main form of decoration around this course. As you can see, I've maxed out the memory already by doing all my little decoration tactics all over the place. Didn't show this, but the nice little green thing that I made, got a little bunker, got the ball on the green, and FeatherWood, nice little name. That was the picture that I used for the course, I believe, in 2K23. I'm going to grab a drink real quick and continue on with the back 9. All right. Coming on down to the back 9. Routing is a little bit weird on this course. As you can see, number 9 comes off here, and you have to run all the way back across 17 down to get to 10. So it is a little bit odd routing, but I do think it still plays very nice, as players can come up here and just peek down through here, all the way from over here even, and see if anybody's on this tee box. If not, it's perfectly fine across through this area all the time. Other than that, there's really no bad routing. You come back on the same path as you're coming from 16 down to 17 right here. So it's really no issue, honestly. I like how it plays. The course is kind of set up more for tournament stands as well anyway. So this kind of it makes the course very close together and allows spectators to kind of be in centralized zones. But if I come down here to number 10, number 10 is actually a hole that I kind of did something that I didn't do anywhere else in the course. I ran the fairway up to the cart path on this hole. The entire hole slopes from left to right, and it kind of makes you want to play up towards this bunker as much as you can. With how much fairway there is up here, any shot that lands around this bunker or even above it can bounce down and into the fairway. Actually getting in this bunker takes pretty much a straight shot into the bunker or landing right here and just bouncing in. It's really very, very rare that you're going to end up in this bunker unless you're going straight at it. And the other ones, they're more or less for visual. You can definitely hit them in all three. I don't know about this one actually, but I think these two for sure you can go in. In terms of our green here, we have an elevated green that I did something that I liked with. I did the rocks kind of wrapping around it in two different tiers. You can kind of see it better here. You got the 1 and then the 2 down here on the bottom, and kind of a nip of a third that would be down here. I actually got inspired to do this because when I was out in Colorado not too long ago, I saw a bunch of straight lines in nature, and I didn't realize how much straight lines actually come into play on hills and slopes in nature. So I'm starting to incorporate things like this, and I'm starting to really like the look of them. Just little bits of rocks kind of poking out. I don't like the small rocks. I like using the big rocks and having edges of the big rocks poke through. I think it looks better. Uh, but anyway, in terms of coming up to this green, elevated, coming up to a split green with a huge slope running right down the center, and the 1 and 4 pin are both tucked up here in the top. Definitely a very hard little area to have a pin. Getting birdies on this hole isn't very common because of all the slopage right around this area. But I do really enjoy this hole. I think the bunker also brings in a nice little consideration as players are trying to wrap it around this hill. If you play it too close to this hill, you can still end up in this sand. Coming on here to number 11, this is one of my favorite holes visually from the tee box. If we come here, got the sun basically right in our face, and just a little split fairway, a bunch of rocks leading up to it. You can kind of see our bunkers off here in the distance. And coming up here to the fairway, I don't know. I just really like the shape of this and the smoothness of it, and how this hole right here is a par five, so it has a step down to it. One big rock step down, and then another big rock step down, and then you're finally down to the green area. A pipe drive and a pipe second shot are going to reach the green pretty easily, but if you mess up either one of those, it can be fairly punishing because missing this fairway right here is very punishing, and missing the green down here will either throw you into this bunker or most of the time into this bunker. Uh, I do really like this hole. It is very birdieable though. Coming on to our next par three. This one I think I might still be reworking it. I'll have to look at the. Yeah, I think I'm still kind of going under. I'm still undergoing some changes on the screen. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do. It's always been way too slopey. It used to be even more slopey than this. But in terms of this hole, I like how everything is. I like the big circle bunker and the little bit more kind of cuts in this bunker up here. I think it plays very nice. It looks very nice, and it's about 40 feet uphill to this green. And I don't know, I've always liked uphill par threes in this game. I think they're always very challenging. There's something special about them. I will be reworking this green again, most likely. But I do think this hole has a lot of opportunity to be fun. On to number 13 here. This one I also had completely reworked as the fairway really wasn't in the state that I wanted it. There was a big bunker here, kind of more straight instead of diagonal, and then I think there was one over here as well. It was just kind of an ugly looking tee shot, and there wasn't really much thought to it. It was a pretty simple pipe it. So I decided to add this bunker in to kind of cut across and make players think if they want to play it up to the bottom or top. Just add that little extra second or two of thinking to the hole. The bunkers aren't super hilly. They're just kind of indented, slight slope to them, as this is a few feet higher, like a couple. Very reachable par 5 as well if you pipe your drive. Getting down here to the green isn't super hard, but getting your ball to stick on this green is very hard because most of the green actually slopes from front to back. If you look here, slope front to back and front to back here. So actually getting your ball to stop on the front of the screen is very difficult, as in the 1 and 4 pins are both right here. So getting them to stop anywhere around that can be a very big challenge. But honestly, overall, probably my least favorite par 5 on the course. I do think it does serve its purpose and plays nicely now, but it's just gone through a lot of changes over its time. Coming on to this next little par 3 here. I actually really like this par 3, how it plays. It is a very long one. I think it is right around 240. Yeah, 240 to the green. And what makes this hole super challenging is the green. If the green had more slopes to catch your ball, it would be a lot easier. There's only a slight slope to the front here and a slight slope to the front here. Anything landing back here is going to get taken to the bowl. anything short, it's going to be in this crap, and we all know how fun that is to play out of this tall green grass. And I find a lot of players also hit it over here into this bunker because they get scared and flare it out. But these two pin positions over here are very tough as everything's sloping down this way. Anything above is going to have a hard time stopping coming back down. Uh, I do really like how this hole plays and looks. I think it's very, very difficult. Uh, and I'm excited to see some more people play it and see what they can do here. Back over here to number 15. Number 15 reminds me of number 11, the step down par 5 back over there. It's kind of got the same up tee shot with the trees blocking it. But this hole right here is a hard mamma jamma. This is a double dog leg, as you can see from up top. Hitting your tee shot out to here, you have these trees that kind of cut out and guard this edge of the green. So you can get a straight line in on this green, but you have to be playing it dangerously close to this tree. So you have to be like right on this line right here. But for the most part, most players are going to have to take it over this tree coming into the green. Be right on the edge of it. It's not super scary, but I do think mentally it's quite the challenge when you come up to this hole with the tight tee shot and then the very tight long second shot too. To not an easy green. This is kind of I kind of think of this green as like an older style type green. It's just got the one mound in the back and a big slope, allowing balls to run up on from the front. Nothing super fancy here, but we do have a big little spot that runs down into this bunker. And I don't know, I just really like the simpleness of this little green complex. It's got this big hill here that balls can kind of run off down into. I don't know, it's simple, it's nice, it's easy, and I just like it a lot. And finally coming up to the wind farm here, right between 15 and 16. Something that actually you really don't see anywhere on the course because all the holes are running long ways against it. If I had some more facing towards it, you'd probably see this a little bit more, but it's just kind of off here on the side. I may end up actually having to remove it to get some more memory back so that I can continue work on the course. Uh, but continuing on to 16. 16 is a very nice downward tee shot. A lot of slope down coming here. Uh, I really know. There isn't really much to say about this hole. I think it's a nice hole. There isn't really much thought off the tee. There's a lot of thought coming into your second shot here with the green how it is. There's a big mound on the center that the pins are resting on, and then this huge slope on the left side. A lot of times people going for these middle pins are going to end up long down here, making it almost an instant par. And I don't know, it's not a super hard hole, but at the same time, I do really like it. Now coming on to 17. 17 is kind of a trick hole. Uh, this one gets a lot of people who play it for the first time as there's a lot of fairway here. It just seems like, oh, just hit it right down the middle, get it over with. But if you're not thinking, you can get in trouble and get yourself behind these trees over here. If we go from this little up view, all of this little bit of fairway over here blocks out the right side of this green pretty hard, which is where the 1 and 4 pin is. So you have to leave it up here near these two bunkers, which if we look at the fairway from down here, you can see the whole fairway goes from left to right. So all those shots want to feed down here into this little dead zone where players can be. And I can promise you this hole right here will turn a very easy hole into a bogey very fast if you mess up on your tee shot. In terms of coming into the green, not super complicated. The only real danger is this front bunker right here. And there isn't really much going on with the green. You got a big runoff area on the back and this big mound over here on the left. But overall, big flat zone here for most of the pin locations, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And now finally coming on down to number 18. Number 18 is a shorter par 4. Usually your drives are going to put you around 150, 140 out or so. This hole, I think it looks very nice. It's just a nice, simple, good-looking finishing hole. Got the two red maples over here with the little red plants all around them. Got the 3 bunkers kind of lined up. Then coming into the green, you got a nice little look. Got some houses behind here. Got a big row of bushes and stuff back here. Got a few bunkers kind of mounded up around the green. Pin 1 and 4 both down here on this little front tier. It is a kind of a semi three-tiered green. You got the big tier here, and then a tier here and a tier here. These are the same height, but there's a big kind of slope down area that kind of runs all the way up to the top. Just kind of catching people's balls and not really bringing them all the way down, but giving them that little bit of help kind of down towards the pin. So any shot that's up here is very, very scary putting back down to these two pins. I've seen a lot of people roll shots from up here down into the bunker as they aren't expecting the slopes. Overall, that's pretty much it with the course. As you can see, we've got our regular little clubhouse and parking lot and decorations, driving range, all that fun stuff. But other than that, there really isn't much else to the course. If you guys have any suggestions for any of the holes or anything, please let me know because at this point, there really isn't much else that I'm going to be changing with this course in my own eyes to have it ready for the Rookie of the Year competition. I really hope I can do good. It's my first time ever actually messing with TGC and stuff. I've actually never really heard of them in my 8 years of designing, but I guess I haven't really been in the community that much. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.